Welcome to Chatting with Chet Miller. I am Chet, if you haven't guessed that by now, and with me I have Prescott Smith. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah. No, I actually thought about reaching out to you a long time ago, and I don't know why. Well, no, I do know why. I always thought you were going to run for office, but so yeah.
Maybe someday.
Maybe someday.
Maybe someday.
Maybe someday. Your mom did, right?
She did. Yeah.
She did,
Actually,
yeah.
she's in an elected office currently.
She is, yeah.
Yeah.
What's her? Can I ask? Is that okay? Okay.
Yeah. No. So she's currently on the Maricopa County Community College District
That's
Board.
right. That's right.
So
That's
she's
right.
helping kind of govern the community colleges in
Yeah.
Maricopa County. But she's been in a handful of elected offices.
I voted for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I did too.
yeah. No, she was awesome. Yeah. Very cool. What would you go for, you think, if you did?
If I did run for office?
Yeah.
I mean, ideally, I'd probably start on a city council
city level. Yeah.
What I'd prefer. It's where I feel like my knowledge and expertise and passion is currently. But because of my involvement in work, it probably doesn't.
And can I ask what your job is? Your 9 to 5?
Sure. Yeah.
Is it a 9 to 5?
Yeah. No, it's as I think with a lot of jobs, it's kind of, all hands on deck and, anytime. But no, so my company is called Technical Solutions. I'm the vice president there. Been there for quite a while.
That's good.
What we do is we work on entitlement projects. So like new developments that need to get city or county public hearing level approvals. We specialize in the community outreach portion of that. So really, like what we do is that we're kind of like the liaison between maybe a developer, the city staff, and then the neighborhoods. And
you bring everybody to come play in the sandbox.
Yeah, and try and make sure everyone's informed about the projects and try to, if there's maybe adjustments or changes that need to be made, try to improve them.
That's cool.
So by the time they get to city council and finally built, they're better for everyone involved.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
that sounds like a pretty fun job.
It's
you meet a lot of people.
Do meet a lot of people, yeah, and people that are obviously passionate about their communities because you care about things that are in your backyard or in your neighborhood and your street. So yeah.
All right, that's cool. Okay, can you talk about any past projects you guys did, or like something like?
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, there's you see that.
Yeah, and that's
the Mattel thing
going. Because that's what's super fun about it is obviously having done it for so long, seeing things where they were, an idea in someone's head and a piece of paper and kind of a whatever it was drawn out to be to actually being built and driving by on the street, being
come to fruition. Sure.
Yeah, so I get to so.
That's pretty cool. That's a good feeling, I bet.
Yeah. Well, so like we worked hand in hand with Mace Rich that owns the Scottsdale Fashion Square.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So they had a big kind of master plan, and they're only in kind of the first step, but the new Caesars Republic Hotel.
Yeah.
So that's that's kind of the first step, first phase in their master plan.
Man, that's
for the next 30
That keeps
years.
you busy, I bet.
Yeah. And then honestly, across the street from there, the Optima Camel View.
Yeah.
That was one of our earlier projects. We've worked on several Optima projects because there's that one there. A little bit further west on Camelback is Sonoran Village, and then there's one up in kind of technically Phoenix, the Optima Kierland. So we've worked on several of those.
That's pretty cool. That is. It's got to make you feel good, though, right? Like,
yeah. That's
like you are definitely giving back to the community in a decent way, I think.
Well, yeah, and we have a variety of different clients. It's not always hotels or housing, but we worked on the ASU Sky Song project. That was a really, really big one. That's still evolving.
Remind me
over
that
there at Scottsdale Road and McDowell, kind of the southeast corner, kind of where Los Arcos Mall used to be.
Oh yeah. Oh wow.
So
that's old school.
Yeah. But we've worked with hospitals. We've helped Honor Health on a lot of their master planning for their different campuses. Usually, So, because they have 3 different campuses and.
So you get like repeating customers?
We do, yeah, and that's what's great. Obviously,
that's pretty good.
We've done our job well, and people understand kind of the value that we bring because not necessarily every project needs our services,
Sure.
but
Yeah.
sometimes you don't know until it's too late.
I would
So it's
agree. Yeah.
you know,
Oh,
people will have you know, concerns or questions or issues with a project, and you want to address those
absolutely.
early, and try and get those, because sometimes, you know,
Right.
people just, if they're, you know, they lose trust in you as a developer, you as a company.
Yeah.
It's tough to get that back, even if you can make some of those changes. So it's good to have us act as the liaison and get some of those answers early. As I like to say, it's easier to prevent a fire than to
Sure.
put one out.
Hmm.
So,
I see you brought notes. That's awesome. That's
oh yeah,
cool.
well,
I
it's
like it.
just, you know,
No, it's good. Like,
I like to
yeah,
be prepared.
like to be prepared. Good for you, man. I like that.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. So okay. I was gonna wait a while for this, and maybe we'll bring it up a couple times. But do you guys use AI like at all? And like, if so, like how?
So we don't currently,
Yeah.
not
Okay.
much, but obviously it's becoming more and
Sure.
more prevalent
Yeah.
with things. So, I mean, I think the most I would say our level of AI is maybe asking
Chat
ChatGPT a
GPT or
question. I
whatever.
mean,
Sure.
that's,
Yeah.
but
Which
not.
can be helpful if you give it the right prompts. Absolutely, I think it's a very helpful
Yeah,
tool.
I'm very, very new to it, to
Hmm.
be honest with you, and I mean, I just really ask it more random questions. I use it as a, you know, an extension of
Like a fun
Google.
guy. Yeah.
You know,
Like Jeeves.
yeah,
Jeeves.
ask Jeeves.
Ask Jeeves.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we're not using it to, you know, write or edit
Right.
documents or anything. Honestly, I like having that control over that. I like to
I
think
don't
I'm a
blame you.
pretty good
I don't blame. Right. You
writer,
go to
and
school for it, right?
yeah, well, yeah.
What'd you go to school for?
Well, so my undergrad degree was in marketing,
That's right.
which is interesting because, you know, you're typical. I actually worked for a marketing firm for a few years out of college, um, and with each of these projects, you have to think of each one as maybe having its own individual
Sure.
marketing strategy,
Hmm.
because not every project's the same, and you want to be able to explain it, put it in the right, you know, the right light that everyone understands, kind of the,
Right.
you know, the aspects of the project. So there's marketing to each of what we do. I did go back and I got my MBA as well. So again, it's tough because we're such a niche
What's your
company.
MBA in?
It's entrepreneurship.
Okay. That's
So
good.
we're a small firm, and
So you like the development of businesses and
yeah.
helping them take off a bit?
Well, yeah. I mean, just I like seeing the cities evolve.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's a
mean,
very
it's
good way to put it. Yeah.
yeah.
Thank
I
you.
mean, you know, the problem is, and at least in my opinion, and um, you know, I know there's fatigue out there in certain communities where people don't want new growth, but
Sure.
you know, a stagnant city ends up becoming
Yeah.
stale,
It
run
does.
down
Yeah.
before you know it. There needs
Yeah.
to be kind of constant thing, and
It's
you know,
kind of like your
within
house.
reason.
Like I have a very aged house, and I call it the house of like 1,000 projects because I have like 1,000 like my life, right? I have 1,000 projects that I need to get done, and at first you're keeping up, and then I'm like, good lord, I'm tired. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what it reminds me of. Like the city gets tired.
Yeah, and again, I'm
I hope that's okay to equate it
no,
like that,
no,
but
it's no, it's I mean, it's absolutely right, but it, you know, it's tough because a lot of times I can sympathize with people if
sure,
they're, you know, if they don't
there's beauty
necessarily
to it.
like a different project. They're like, but they're, you know, they're resistant to
Hmm.
change, of like, you know, that's been this for so long,
Yeah,
and that's what I know, and that's what I'm comfortable with. But a lot of times it's those people that end up really appreciating
yeah,
using whatever, you know, if it's a commercial building, or you
yeah.
know, they would end up, you know, using the amenities, or going or knowing someone that moves there, or maybe moving there themselves, you know, years and years later. So
Maybe I'll come help you with AI.
yeah, I mean,
I'm not a big AI fan. Like I always tell, I think I was like 60-40. I was 60% terrified of it. I was 40% just fascinated by it. I'm still fascinated. Absolutely. But I think I'm like 65% terrified and 35% fascinated.
so you went more terrified.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, watching how fast it's moving, holy smokes. It is. And especially what I do, I'm like, it's like you can just see it like moving everywhere. And it's like, you're like a spider web.
No, I mean, I get you, because you know, I'm not going to pretend to be any type of
Yeah.
AI
Right.
expert.
Right.
Again, don't really
No.
use it
Yeah.
much on
You're
a,
good.
you know, on a daily basis. But you know, I if I'm taking a ride share, I'll choose Uber and Lyft before a Waymo because my
Right, I
trust level
probably
isn't
would
quite
too.
there.
But okay, have you seen the elderly guys? I've seen like an elderly couple do the Waymo or like one of those types rides and just an elderly guy. And he was, shoot, I think they were probably in their 80s. And the one guy gets in with his like granddaughter, something like that. And he's just floored. He's like, what is going on? But his wonder and excitement was like what I remembered my first time going to like Disneyland or something. You're like, this is crazy insane.
Oh, I again think it's super neat, and I think
Yeah,
I'll
right.
probably
I agree.
I'll rip the Band-Aid off at some point,
I don't know how far I'll
but
rip it off.
maybe for a
Oh,
for a
my
short
dogs are
trip,
barking. For a
but
short trip.
no, but I've seen and heard some crazy stories where,
For
I mean,
sure. Yeah,
it's you
I
take
agree.
out the human element,
Yep.
which in some ways can be good, but
And scary.
there's but that's and I heard about an instance where Waymo was driving and there was like basically just kind of drove into a crime scene. It didn't recognize like the
Yeah.
yellow caution tape,
Right.
and
Yeah.
right, a human would, but
Yeah.
that's not in their programming, and it just kind of drove like right into it because that
Yeah.
was on
I
on
played
the
a
way.
video, I don't know how many episodes ago. And it was like the Waymo like basically went into a flood. And then it's like shutting down and it's like shuts down and the person's like, are you serious right now?
Well, right.
Like,
So, because we had that the heavy rain a few months ago,
oh
and
yeah.
obviously, out here, it's not something in Arizona that you typically get too
No,
much of, but
no. Yeah.
some of the streets were getting flooded, and the Waymos
What do you do?
right, it didn't
Right.
fully understand
Yeah.
with how much water was on the street, so it
Right.
was driving up on sidewalks and in people's yards because it
Research and
couldn't.
development team.
Yeah, well, it said, oh, that's not something we have to worry about in the Phoenix
Not in
metro
Arizona, you're
area.
good.
Yeah, it should be fine. But
Except for that one time in 10 years.
yeah,
Yeah.
so no, that was so again. It's I mean, I,
Like I
it
said, fascinated, but scary as
it
heck.
it
Oop,
makes me
as I smacked that.
nervous too, and
Yeah.
to see how well it
Can I ask?
evolve.
Can I ask your age? Is that okay that I asked it?
My
on you?
age?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 41.
You're 41. Okay. So I got 6 years on you. That's right. Okay. Sorry, we knew each other a long time ago.
Yeah, we have.
Okay, so 41. So what's
And,
that make your
and
graduation year?
I would say I'm an old 41 because my wife is 40. She's a year younger than I am.
Okay.
But she
Can you
is.
shout her out on here?
Yeah, Trish.
Shout out Trish.
Hi, Trish. Love you. But she is very much more. She's in her job. She deals a lot with IT and cybersecurity,
Okay.
and
Does she really?
right now she's working on disaster recovery for her company and
Oh, I
coming
want
up
to
with
talk
some
to
plans.
Trish.
So yeah, I don't pretend to understand even everything she does.
Sure,
It's
yeah.
fascinating,
Yeah.
and she impresses me constantly with some
Right.
things she talks with. But if you want to talk, I mean, she knows a heck of a lot more,
Yeah.
about some of that stuff than I do. But in
Maybe she'll
general,
come
I
on.
mean,
We'll talk.
no,
We'll chat
I
it
bet
up.
she would. But even just from a general technology standpoint, I mean, she makes fun of me. I prefer printing out my tickets to go board a plane rather than do it on
Absolutely.
the phone.
I
I'm
do
like,
too.
well, it's like,
Yeah.
okay. It's like, well, like, it's like, all right, you got to make sure to pull up. What if the internet's not working?
Yeah.
Like, I feel really good having that little paper ticket, and that's, it never fails.
Okay. Okay. This is such a random break, but I think I saw on your Instagram. What is it? What is your Instagram? Smith
Oh,
for
Smith
Scottsdale?
for Scottsdale.
How'd you come up with that? I mean, it's awesome. I love it because it totally like rings true for you.
Well, it was time for a change. I'd had like the same kind of.
Yeah.
It was a very
Like,
kind of
young. I gotcha.
It was
Yeah.
time to be.
Boy, did we ring on that one?
Yeah, little more of
I
an
gotcha.
adult.
Yeah.
And we were just kind of talking. My wife and I were talking about it, kind of and it's a pretty common thing that people do when they are running for office. And so I didn't
Yeah, that's
necessarily
true.
mean to
Yeah. That's
totally
true.
give off that
Yeah.
impression, but I thought I'm like,
It
well,
kinda does.
like, but I
At
mean,
least it's there now.
right? And it's so in some ways I'm reserving it in case
Yeah,
I ever do.
absolutely. Good for you,
But
buddy.
I'm also,
Good for you.
but I also, I it's what I do. Like, I mean, a good portion of my job and a lot of my
I agree with that.
service involvement is in the city of Scottsdale. I mean, I've lived
Yeah.
there my entire life and don't plan moving
Yeah, you
outside of
did.
that community.
You
So
did. That's awesome. Scottsdale's awesome. All right, so I was gonna ask you a question. Hold on, let me go back. What were we talking about? You'd said
When we're talking about what AI said, oh, did paper tickets for their planes
for the
and
airplanes. Okay, so you were traveling. I think I saw it on Instagram, and didn't you take like some like little like smaller jet airplane or something somewhere for work or what was
so
it?
yeah, so we did, yeah. That's
Because
you did.
I want to hear about the plane, like the whole trip. Fine, whatever. I want to hear about
No,
the plane.
so one of our clients, and don't won't get into
No. Yeah, yeah.
too many
By
specifics,
yeah,
but
no.
this is a project that we just completed that was
Yeah,
up in Lake Havasu City.
nice. Oh, it's
So,
beautiful up there, isn't it?
yeah, and I think it's going to be fantastic for the city of Lake Havasu.
Oh, cool.
It's out on the little
Oh, you guys do
island.
Lake Havasu projects
Yeah,
too.
so we do it. I mean, we've done stuff all over the state.
How cool.
And so, yeah, this was like an abandoned golf course that had been kind of come dilapidated over
Yeah, sure.
the years, and it's going to now turn into some housing, some residential, some commercial, a
Right on.
hotel. Right on the waterfront
Yeah, yeah,
there. So it's a really cool deal. But because it was such a big project,
yeah,
and so they have so many different disciplines. So obviously, we're not the only person when these development
yeah,
projects go through. There's so many different people to make sure things run. So
yeah.
you'll typically hire zoning attorneys, you'll hire architects, landscape
Sure.
architects, or engineers, traffic engineers to
Mm-hmm.
study those kind of things, civil engineers, so variety of different things. So we had tons of people that were working on this, or at least a dozen of us that would go for different meetings
Yep,
or
yep.
public hearings that we had there, but everyone in kind of the Phoenix metro area. And so we we kind of figured out that with everyone traveling up there, it actually ended up being
Cost
more cost
effective.
effective
Sure.
to charter
Nice
a
job.
little plane, because we were then the flight was 30-40
That's
minutes.
fantastic. Good for
and
you.
and it and it was a nice
Yeah,
little,
for it's a good
yeah,
perk.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
perk, but cheaper perk. Sure.
right, but yeah, you're not, because if everyone,
Yep.
you add up everyone's hourly rate on the whatever that
Yeah.
drive
You're
is
like,
up there,
hey,
three
would you
four
like
hours,
to?
and yeah,
Yeah.
would you, yeah, so travel
I mean,
time
who's gonna say
four
no?
hours each way or
Yeah.
40 minutes each way, it
Right.
makes sense. And yeah, and it didn't kill everyone's whole day, and you're
Yeah.
not exhausted, by the time you get there and back. I mean, so um so
That's
yeah,
like that. Good for you.
yeah, so I mean, I'm not going to necessarily take credit for it,
No, but I mean, I'd
but it
still like
was,
that's a great like that's good.
yeah,
That's
so it was,
fun.
but yeah,
How's the jet? Like pretty
definitely a
cool
fun, yeah, it can be a little nerve wracking. It was probably was the first
because it's
time to being
smaller.
on, yeah, so it's
Yeah.
very different than a, kind of a commercial plane. But I mean, by all means, if you have those means to travel that way, even just
Yeah.
kind of
Good.
once,
Yeah. I
it
agree.
is, I mean, just the
Absolutely
difference
try it.
because it didn't leave out of Sky Harbor, it left out of the Scottsdale
Oh
airport.
yeah. Yeah.
And then out of like little, I mean, it was just, but it was a seamless way. I mean, you kind of go and check in quickly, and you
Yeah.
just kind of
It
walk
just
out to the, you're not going through, crazy lines of security and
yeah.
dealing. It was very nice.
That's
And
cool.
I don't know when I'll have that opportunity to
Right, but
travel
I
that way
mean, take
again,
it though. I mean, that's good. Good for you,
got to do
buddy.
it a couple of times.
That's
And
pretty neat.
the only other thing I can really say about it, I mean, again, the nerve-wracking part of being a kind of a smaller plane, so you feel the
Yeah. Yeah. You
turbulence a lot
feel it.
more.
Sure.
But the thing that the first time that I went, because just the way everything was configured, they don't have just all the seats facing the same way like you do in a commercial flight. They have some that are, you're facing each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
So having traveled, however many times in
Oh,
my
sure.
my
It's
life,
like a train
but
almost,
and sitting the other
or
way,
subway train or
yeah. So I
whatever.
was yeah, so I was sitting, facing the back of the plane rather than the front of the plane. It was a completely different
Very
experience
different.
taking off
Sure.
and landing. It was very, very weird.
Oh man.
Um, so that was,
Oh sure.
yeah. So it wasn't my favorite. I tried to make sure that I sat the normal way the other times we traveled
This
that
is
way. So
scary.
yeah, it's just
That's
yeah,
wild.
it was strange, and I wasn't the only one that felt that way. So people were like, yeah,
No
I don't,
kidding.
yeah. I'm like, I don't like that.
Huh. So I traveled out to Charlotte for business. Oh my gosh. Back in probably end of September, I think it was. And I mean, it was the United or American, I don't know,
hmm
fill in the blank. Like, it was a decent one. Um, that would have been weird coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and that and I
Huh.
don't even really know how to explain it, but because it's just a very, I mean, it's everything's kind of reversed, and so when
Right.
the plane's taking off,
You're
you
just,
fly
yeah,
this way, you
you're
don't
like,
sit back that way, and yeah, it's
okay, let me ask you a question. Have you ever flown first class?
yes, I have.
Okay. What, like a normal airline or what?
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, on probably American
Okay.
airlines.
Are they just like a nice seat with the drinks and whatever?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
again, they're
They're
comfy.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. They're
it's
more
you know
comfortable,
you have
more
two
roomy.
seats
Yeah,
and
yeah.
instead of in the
Right.
same area you normally
Okay.
have three.
So I saw this video and I possibly have it up. I don't know. But I sent it to Vanessa, my wife. Everybody should know that by now.
Shout out to Vanessa.
Yeah, she will not come on here. Yeah, she was like, no, I'm not coming on ever. And I'm like, come on.
Yeah,
Like
you
my
might
number one guest I want to talk to.
you might wear her down eventually.
I hope. Yeah, if I get cancer, like fine,
Well,
come
that's
on.
not let's not wish for that.
I right, but anyways, so it was like this. It was like a 3,000, 5,000. Like it was such an expensive first class ticket, and they could take you to like you follow it, and it takes you to the front of the plane. And I hope it wasn't AI. If it was AI, fine, you fooled me. But it did not seem like AI. And then like the door like slides open, and they got a bed and like the
Oh,
whole
that's a
thing. I'm
whole
like,
different level.
like
I've seen
good
some of those, and
grief.
a lot of those I think are over in Europe and
Right. And
Asia,
yeah, yeah,
and
or
some of
yeah,
those,
European or
they're
Asian.
and
Yep.
like those and much
Yeah.
longer flights. But I've seen some videos of some really, and I can't even
Would you,
imagine.
let's just say hypothetically, okay, I'm going to follow, everyone knows I'm baptized if you watch me. Okay. You give your tithe and you do whatever, so on and so forth, right? Okay. And you have a decent plethora. Now you're paying for it. It's there for a reason. You have the money. Do you do it at least once? I think I
It would
would.
have to be. I mean,
The
it
right
depends, right?
circumstances. Yeah.
So yeah, because I mean, and you asked if I've flown first class. I have a
Sure.
couple of times, but it's always been with points, not like I've never actually paid the
Right. Yeah.
money
Yeah. Yeah.
to do it. So that's where I've, you know, if I've splurged before. So
Right.
I
Yeah.
did that. Um,
Sorry,
when
I'm
I
not trying to put you on the spot.
no no,
Okay.
but no, but I did that when I went for my bachelor party. We went from Arizona to Destin, Florida, and I said, I'm like, you know what? I'm like, this would be a time. So you use
That is a
points to
phenomenal. Good for
splurge. So
you.
yeah, I mean
Good
that
idea.
was a time, and it was a longer flight. I mean,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think it makes sense to do it from
What is it?
here
What, 6 hours?
yeah, so yeah,
Something like that?
five and a
Five,
half,
6
something
hours?
like
Okay.
that. And so it was the only bummer was, I mean, I did that, but the rest of
But the
my
rest of
buddies
everybody,
didn't
yeah.
because they and so I didn't get to. I mean,
I don't
I
know.
was comfortable, but I didn't
I
get
wonder
to
if I
sit
would have
there and
splurged
talk
for
with.
it. I wonder if I
So
would have splurged for it.
that was the thing. But yeah,
I
but that
probably would have.
again, even still, I think that's I, I don't remember what the what the ticket would be, depending on how you time it or whatever. Maybe maybe it's $1,000 or whatever,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
that's a lot different than $10,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
I
true.
mean
Yeah. That's a very fair point.
it
Sure.
would be a very
Yeah,
difficult
that's a
thing. So
different type
maybe
of,
yeah, I don't know.
but that's fun though. Good for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. I'm a big wedding person. I love weddings. I absolutely love weddings. Your wedding had to have been awesome. So wait, hold on. Time out. Time out. Okay. We probably should have mentioned this before. We used to hang out 15. Hold on, I gotta calculate with my oldest.
Yeah, try to do the
15-ish years ago.
sure.
Okay.
Pretty regularly.
Pretty regularly, yeah. And I've talked about this too. Life happens. And although you don't want to lose, like, wow, I'm getting raw on this and I apologize.
Oh.
That was not my intention. But no, and I guess I did just talk about friendships on when I did my solo. Wow, this backfired. Holy shit. Whoops a doozy. All right. It's been a while since I cried on here and I'm not gonna cry. All right, here we go. So we used to hang out like 15 plus years ago. It was like one of my best friends. If not at one point my best friend. And life happens, And I don't think we ever wished bad on each other or anything like that. It
No.
just kind of, you drift apart sometimes. And it's, that's kind of how friendships, relationships goes. It just kind of,
Well, I mean, your life took a little different
it took a
path
big turn. It
than
definitely took a big
mine
turn.
did. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, we were still doing
Yeah.
young things.
Young stuff.
And,
Absolutely.
and so
Absolutely.
I did that a little bit longer because you grew up a little faster and got
Not, I
married
don't
and
know if it
had,
was unintentional, but it did happen. Yeah.
but no, but
Yeah.
you got married and had kids. And so
Yeah.
I'm now, because your oldest is 15
Almost. Yeah.
or
Almost
almost
50.
15.
Yeah. Yeah. Going on.
So 14 and 10 and
Yeah. 14, 12, 10. We did
12, 10.
almost like the 2 year spread.
Okay.
Almost like.
Because so, now my wife and I have been married for almost 4 years, and we now have our little
Yeah.
guy turns 2 in a couple
Times
weeks.
2. Holy smokes.
So, I mean, we're
How cool.
very much
That's such an
behind
exciting
you,
time too.
but I get it now,
Yeah.
and that's it's happened with lots of people kind of
Yeah.
when they start doing the family thing. It's like, yeah, I mean,
But I always knew I could reach out to you.
of course, I mean, obviously,
So,
you did
right.
for this,
Yeah.
and
And I always appreciated that. It was like, we'd always reach out to each other, a few times a year and be like, hey, how's everything going? Like, whatever. And I always appreciated that.
no, and it's not like I didn't understand
Right.
that,
So are
and
you still a new parent? Like a new at certain things? I think I'm always a new parent.
yeah, I mean, obviously, especially with how much he changes by the
Rapidly at
day, the
this stage
week,
for you, yeah.
um, but and I think the thing, if you're going to say new parent, I mean, there are always just moments where I'm like, okay, well,
Yeah.
I still feel like a kid,
Yeah.
right? I'm like, but I mean, but I'm not.
Yeah, you're responsible now.
I'm the
Yeah.
dad, and
Yep.
it's a different level of responsibility. It's a
Mm-hmm.
different kind of love having
Yep.
a child, and I thought a lot about this because it's there was a good portion of my life when I wasn't sure whether I was going to have kids or not. Just kind of thought
Is
it
that
might
right?
yeah, I was just like,
Wow.
well, I was very invested in work and some other things, and I was just
Mm.
like, well, I questioned whether that was going to be the right thing because it's
Right.
like
For your life.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and not wrong because my wife and I are not traveling as much
Yeah,
the last
for
couple
sure.
of years,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
We're not going out to eat, not going to because we have different priorities
Yeah.
and different
And I
different
will
things.
tell you, it definitely you appreciate going out. Like I have a big anniversary coming up, and I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying not to mess it up. She's not going to listen to this, so I'm not going to blow anything. But I'm going to try not to mess it up. I'm going to. Like, if my MO holds
Oh,
up, I'm going to mess it up. But she'll appreciate the little things at least. She'll appreciate the attempt, and maybe I won't. Maybe I'll knock it out of the park. I'm trying to,
well,
but
again, if the desire is there, even if it doesn't always come full on fruition,
right, exactly.
but
Yeah,
I I like to pride myself on trying to come up with big
yeah.
ways to
You do.
celebrate
You
things,
do.
and so maybe when we get off air, we'll talk a little
Talk
bit.
some.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe I'll come up with some ideas of some things. See if you can.
All right. I have a question for you. Half birthday.
Oh, I love half birthdays.
Yes. Okay. You know what's funny is I'm not even reading my notes right now. And I'm like, it's just like flowing. It's pretty fun. Okay. And my buddy Will, you remember Will.
Yeah.
He always says, you just have a conversation, it'll come to you. Tell me about the half birthdays. I love this. It's one of my favorite things about you.
And it's not like I celebrated half birthdays growing up per se. It kind of happened starting in my early to mid 20s type of thing.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And it's funny that you brought it up kind of now because you talked about how we used to hang out and then kind of drifted apart as things happen. So I noticed, and I would try to. I mean, again, I love celebrations, and I think that the more things
which
you can find.
I love that about you.
Well,
I really do.
The more things in life you can find to celebrate, and I mean, who doesn't like to go and
hang out and have a good party, or just yes, totally agree.
And so I noticed that there were people from, you don't want to say previous life, but from years ago and whatever that would, if I threw a very big birthday party, they would come to that, and I wouldn't really see them
I've been to
the
a
rest
couple
of the
of them.
year. So I thought, and I was like, well, I'm like, you know what? And I don't even remember where the idea came from originally, but I just started kind of talking about half birthdays.
I think it's awesome.
And so I started throwing very big half birthday parties, not for presents or anything like that.
No,
purely so those people that I saw once a year, I would see twice a year. And so it just basically doubled the amount of times that I would be able to have a really fun night out
It's
with
phenomenal.
people that you don't normally get to
Yeah.
see. So
I miss that. I've been to a few of them.
yeah,
They were good times.
honestly, and I haven't. I mean, I still celebrate it every year. It's just
Yeah,
very
yeah. Very
very
different.
very very
Sure.
small because yeah, we'd have some
Yeah.
elaborate ones,
Yeah, yeah.
but so yeah, I'm gonna one of these
Yeah.
years I'm gonna probably kick that back up again.
Yeah.
Once my son
That'd
gets
be fun.
a little older,
Yeah.
probably we'll kick that back up.
Can I ask you, and if you want to edit by the way, if there's anything you ever want to be like, hey, you know what, maybe I shouldn't talk about that, just let me know.
You can edit that part out.
I can edit that part out. Yeah. Um, do you want more kids? You good with one?
Oh, so yeah,
I know. I'm sorry
you're
about that.
hitting it. No,
I apologize. It's not my intention, but at the same time, it kind of is because
no.
you
So
know.
it's interesting. Yes, we're kind of right in that realm right now.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of fine either way. Like I
Yeah.
feel like
Sure.
we're definitely have our hands full with one,
Yeah.
but you can't ever deny having more
Yeah.
love in your house, right?
I agree. I felt that way after two for sure, and I was like, and third came along. I was like, well, there you go. Let's see what happens. Okay.
But again, we didn't start as early as you
Mm.
did, so
That's
that's
a
where
very fair point.
that's
Yeah.
where if there's any nervousness, so we're kind of leaving it in God's hands right
Sure.
now for the
Good for
next
you.
few months,
Good
and
for
I
you.
think there will probably be a kind of a stop point
Yeah.
where we think maybe doesn't
Yeah.
make the
The
most
end.
sense, but we'll
Yeah.
so we'll see. So next few months
Hey.
maybe, and if it doesn't happen
Yeah.
by whatever
I
that
gotcha. Yeah.
date ends up being, then
Cool.
we have a wonderful son, and if we end up with a
Yeah.
a
That's
second
still a great
child, then
family.
yeah.
That's phenomenal. I like that. All right. So, all right. Where do I have, the next thing.
See, and you have notes too.
I
But
do. I
see,
do
you
have.
have yours on your
What do you have?
and I
Do you have
and I
questions?
printed
You
out. I
did. You
printed mine
did.
out because I'm old school.
Do you have any questions?
I don't know that I have questions. I think I've been semi prep with some of the things you thought. My time we've already kind of hit a lot of
Is
this.
that right? That's pretty fun.
Uh,
See? Oh, let's talk about the Charo ride.
sure.
I absolutely want to hit that. That's one of my favorite posts that I've seen out of you in quite a few years now. How long
Well,
have you been
that's
doing that?
honestly great segue because, and maybe I'll just gonna because the first off, the Scottsdale Charos are fantastic charitable organization, kind of a fraternal
Okay.
organization that raise money and give it out to charitable
That's good.
organizations, specifically kind of youth and education. It's kind of their main spots. But
How'd you get so charitable?
well, I mean,
Because you are from
well,
my recollection
thank
and
you.
even today.
I think just how I was raised. I mean, that's how it's just my parents were
Yeah.
constantly involved in different things and, taught me about giving back to the community. And I'm fortunate to live in a community that's given me so much, and
Yeah.
whatever I can do to, whether it's
Help it, yeah.
time or volunteering or money or whatever,
That's
whatever
cool.
it is, I'd love to do what I can.
That's cool.
But
And
so
you don't go to church much.
not as much as I
I
should.
mean, you speak like you do. But
Not as much as I should. Not
That's
as
good
much
though.
as I should.
Good for you, buddy.
Again, when our little guy can actually probably sit there for an
Yeah.
hour and a half,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
we'll probably
Yeah.
go back more. But
That's cool. But yeah, Charo ride.
anyway, so the Charos have been around for 60 plus years.
Dang.
And I think
60 years.
yeah, so yeah, I think the first Charo ride was in like 1962. Something like that. So there have been more Charo rides than there
Wow.
have been Super Bowls.
Is that right?
Yeah.
How cool is
So
that?
it was an organization started by,
Sure.
back when Scottsdale was really the most
Yeah,
western
right. Yeah, the
town. So
most
a bunch of
western
kind
town.
of,
Yeah,
so they were business leaders, but with cowboy western background, and so they wanted to create this organization to give back. But the Charo ride is something that they've been doing kind of every year since then. That just it's a well, it's a way of saying thank you not only to the Charo members, which I'm not,
right.
not
Not
well,
yet.
fingers crossed one
Yeah.
of these days, but
All right.
where they give back. So the actual organization puts it on. So it's a great thing for their members,
Okay.
their active and older lifer members, as well as they bring a bunch of people that have supported the organization throughout the year. So it's kind of like a big thank you. So they don't actually make any money off of this, but it's a several day kind of big camping,
You're on horseback, right?
and horse trail riding. So,
Horse trail riding.
yeah,
And what is horse trail riding?
well, so I mean,
You're not like on the beach, obviously. You're like
no,
galloping with
so
your
I
hair
mean,
flowing in the
and I don't,
wind.
and I don't know if it's been this way exactly throughout every,
Yeah,
but
but
my
how it
experience
is
have
now.
been
Yeah.
on several of them is they spend kind of the months leading up to go and they'll find typically like a certain spot in Arizona. A lot of times it's
Okay.
a ranch or even a private ranch, and ask permission if you, hey, can we have now? I mean, it's gotten very big. I mean, they bring up like almost 200 guys
Wow.
up on this
Is that
thing,
right? 200
and
guys?
so trying to find
Dang.
200 horses, because not everyone owns their horse. I certainly don't.
I mean, I saw on the news the other day they had a problem with wild horses. It's just go.
These are not wild horses. These are at least trained. But
Yeah.
so they'll go and on people that own 100,000 acres or whatever it is, and they'll
Oh yeah, the
they'll
big
find
property.
they'll
Sure.
find a spot for kind of for a base camp, and then do some different trail rides. So you get to go see parts of the beauty and nature of Arizona
Oh, that's
that
cool.
you wouldn't get to see. So we've done it kind of all over the the state. So we've had several that are like up north, and so you can get kind of the mountains, the
Sure.
chill, and we've done some down south actually.
Do you wear the gear and everything like
Oh yeah,
the?
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, uh, yeah. It's strongly encouraged,
I would
and
assume.
honestly,
I would hope, right?
it's kind of important
Otherwise, what's
because
the
again,
point? Yeah.
well, I mean, a lot of that stuff serves purpose.
It absolutely
So
does. Yeah.
so when you're out there and
Yeah. It's not just to look
riding
cool.
around, and so they'll make these trails, but these aren't like if you go to a maybe an actual like ranch here and go ride those, like those are well
Right.
packed.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, these are they've planned out the trail, but they're
They're
you're still
still
getting
just
hit by brush,
sure.
and I mean there's still stuff. So
Yeah,
you
you're.
have your long sleeves, you need to have your boots on, and protect yourself. So
Oh yeah, you got shit
um,
kickers now, don't you?
yeah,
Good for you.
yeah, but I mean it is amazing what they do, because I mean they basically build almost like a little city. So it's so much of it is in a glamping, because
Yeah.
they feed you well. There's a,
Mm.
there's a big tent where they can have some level of
Yeah.
activities, but they try to do it in what's called kind of a cowboy camping mode. So
Yeah.
they don't allow tents.
Is that right? Wow.
So
So what are you in?
so you yeah, I mean you're camping under the stars. So that's
No
really
kidding.
the So
Does it rain?
it has rained. A couple
Phenomenal.
years ago, it snowed. It's been there's some elements to it. So a lot of people
awesome.
So there's some a lot of glamping niceties to it, but
Yeah.
there can be some
Still got some
hardships.
treacherous, sure. Huh.
But yeah, so you can be on a cot, so you can kind of be off the ground, but you're just in better on those
Right.
cold ones. Better get your
What's your food
Sub-Zero.
when you eat out there?
I mean, they bring out a culinary team that
Oh, they do.
goes
Okay,
that
yeah,
is-
yeah.
I mean it is, the food is top notch.
Yeah, because you're probably paying a decent penny to go out there, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean it's not inexpensive, but
Right.
again, it's not a money maker for them.
Right,
It's
yeah.
just kind of what
You're right.
these things cost. So
Yeah.
it's an experience, and it's honestly
That's exactly it. You're paying for the
it's
experience.
it's an honor to even be invited. I mean, I had interest in being invited for several years before I actually was invited on a
Really?
ride. So so not everyone that wants to
Yeah.
go. It's not just something you can sign up for necessarily.
How cool. That's pretty neat. And okay, you were talking upstairs when we were talking. You were talking about the different cities have something similar, like Tempe.
Yeah. So Tempe, I believe theirs are called the Diablos.
Okay.
Not overly familiar with them, but the basic. I mean, so there's obviously the Scottsdale Charros. They focus on Scottsdale.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's also the Phoenix Thunderbirds. So
The Phoenix
people that are
Thunderbirds, that's
familiar
right.
with the
That's the one I've heard
Thunderbirds,
of, yeah.
so the Charros are known for their work within spring training baseball at
Yep.
Scottsdale Stadium with the Giants. So they have a Charro Lodge, which is a phenomenal way to watch a spring training game.
Okay.
And the Thunderbirds are known for helping put on the waste management.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of their
shtick.
big money maker, and they do fantastic work as well. But their focus is kind of the Phoenix area.
Phoenix area. Yeah.
So
That's cool. That's pretty neat. I like that. And you go every year now?
On the Charro ride,
Yeah.
I mean, assuming there's nothing crazy going on in life, I will try to go anytime invited. So
so you did okay. Your first ride compared to now?
Oh, night and day difference.
Yeah.
Night and day difference. So I was, I think you'll find this funny. So I mean, I was not an experienced camper prior to going on
No,
one.
no, that sounds familiar. Yep.
Yep. You've known in
I
a little bit.
I can
So,
remember, yeah.
so I didn't have any
Really funny.
gear or anything. I
Yeah.
didn't have, and I hadn't really, I don't know.
You went out pretty green.
Very, and I was fortunate that there were a couple people that took care of me. So that very that very first year,
Did you know anybody that
I
when you
knew a
went?
couple people.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew a few, and I
That
mean,
helps.
yeah. So there's one person that I knew pretty well that said like, well, I'm going to drive up there. Let me, take some of your gear up. And I think that
Yeah.
was let me look at your gear and make sure you're not gonna. So very
Right.
nice, right? But he didn't tell me until I got there.
That's
So
funny.
they give you kind of a list of suggested things
Yeah.
to bring, but not a lot of parameters around it. So they said like, well, you can you want to be off the ground probably, so you can bring a cot
A cot.
or
Yeah.
an inflatable mattress. Well, I think we put it in there. No one actually brings one of those out, I think, for a variety of reasons.
Sure.
But I had when it was still in a box that I'd never used. So I was like, okay, I'm like, wow, I don't have a cot in my butt, I have this inflatable. I was like, well, I'll just take that. And then I was like, oh, I've got a sleeping bag, so I just threw my
Threw that-
sleeping bag in, and so we get there and we're setting everything up. And setting up camp, and he looks at me. He's like, "Oh, this is a nice inflatable mattress." And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, where are you gonna plug
We're
that
gonna
in
plug that into.
to blow that up?"
Sure.
And I was like, "Oh." It's like, "Don't worry, I had a spare cot. I brought you one." And then he goes, "Like, hey, this is a really nice sleeping bag." It says, "Yeah, rated down to 32 degrees." And I was like, "Yeah." It's like, "It's gonna be 27 degrees tonight." So, and I was like,
Now you're cold.
"Oh, I didn't know about the different ratings on
Right,
sleeping
yeah.
bags even." I'm just like, "Yeah, like, oh, this is a thick one. This would be nice. It'd be
That's
fine."
phenomenal.
Like, yeah, he's like, "I brought you another." I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, made sure that I didn't die that first year.
That's very nice.
But yeah, so I've over the years now I've collected quite
I was gonna say,
quite the
you gotta-
assortment of things. Probably more than I need, but you
Yeah.
always find something else.
Do you have a good trench coat?
So I don't. That's kind of on my list.
Yeah.
So I've got a really good coat, but I don't have like kind of the full
yeah.
the full one yet. And I don't have chaps yet
Mm.
either, which
That helps with the brush and everything.
yeah. And there have been a couple of rides where that would have been helpful.
Got a little. Yeah.
Yeah,
pretty
the
fun.
jeans don't come back quite the same.
Not so much, no.
it's
That's pretty funny. The travel ride.
but
I'd like to do something like that one day.
yeah, you know
Like-
what? I honestly think everyone should. I mean, again, they have so many different things there that make it really fun and nice, but there is something very different about you have
Yep.
to sit there and brave the cold. And even in the nicer places, I mean,
Yeah.
it still gets cold at night in most places, but there's nothing about just waking up or in the middle of the night and just looking up and
Looking
when
and
you
you see the
see,
stars.
and it's it's different. You're outside of the city and going in some of the views and some of the places that we've been. Honestly, one of the coolest things we did was a few years ago, and it took them a long time, I think, to get the permission from the city of Tombstone. But they got the
wow.
entire group. So they were at a ranch nearby. They got the entire group to be able to walk down the main street of Tombstone, all 200 guys on
Really?
horseback. So like right in the middle of the
Yeah.
day on a Saturday in Tombstone, you had a group of basically kind of
Just
a
walk
parade
through.
of just these 200 guys that had been
That's incredible.
came
Good
out.
for you.
It was super
neat.
cool,
Yeah.
super cool experience.
Especially in
it's like-
Tombstone.
yeah, it was. So
Wow.
I mean, they try to go all out to make sure that they have a unique experience every year.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. All right. So this is memory as well. You still have a boat.
I do.
I know there's a very weird transition,
do.
but okay. So what boat do you have? Like, what's your?
So
Is it named? It better be named.
Well, all right. So it's funny.
Didn't
So
he?
when I say that I have a boat, it was my dad's boat. My dad unfortunately passed away a few years ago. But so for all intents and purposes, it is my boat.
Okay.
And it's funny because kind of when it was almost the day he got it. He had like some sort of health scare, some health
Sure.
issue the day that he bought it, because he basically pushed himself. He was at the place so long. And so my mom is just I don't want to say hated the boat ever since, but she's had some disdain for it ever since. So her name for the boat is That Damn Boat.
That damn boat.
That's her name for it.
That's phenomenal.
Again, my company's name is Technical Solutions, so
Sure.
I have named it the Technical Solutions.
Nice.
So
that's pretty awesome.
That is my name for the boat.
That's pretty awesome. What kind of boat is it?
So
you can take a drink. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. So it is a 27-foot cabin cruiser. So it was So it's
newer-ish.
Well, let's see. So
mine's an 87.
Yeah. So trying to think exactly what I want to say. It's a 2012.
Okay. So yeah,
if I remember correctly.
That's decent.
But it also had such little wear and tear on it. I mean, so it just stayed in dry storage for forever. So I mean, the amount of hours that are actually on the boat are
low.
few.
Yeah. You take it out to Lake Pleasant?
So no. So it lives at Bartlett Lake.
Is that right?
It's in a wet slip out there. And yeah. So in its infancy, when my dad, we went out to Pleasant a couple times, and I don't even want all your listeners to know all about this, but Bartlett Lake is fantastic. Like Pleasant is so busy.
It is, yeah.
And I mean,
I agree
it's a much quieter lake. I love that. I mean, the marina is run by it's a family run.
Is that right?
Deal.
I didn't know that.
They're also friendly, and again, you can. And we've been out on some holiday weekends, and you only see maybe 10, 12 other boats out there. I mean, it's so you kind of have the lake to your.
It's been a while since I've been out there.
So it's a little farther for you, but living in Scottsdale, I mean, we can probably get there, in less than an hour from my house. So for
it's
sure.
a bit further.
And again, obviously, we're not towing the boat out there, which is nice. Again, it lives out there, so and go out.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah.
See, mine is right next to my house. Over on the other side of that wall over there. Yeah. Which is, and so I will say, like, mine is 87. It's oh my gosh, Sea Ray Seville. And so it's like the open bow, is it bow rider? And like I can hold like 8 people pretty comfortably as long as no one's like up moving around a lot. And as long as I have the carburetor clean and good. Ran into that problem last summer. No, I can have basically a full boat and still be pulling like 1 or 2 people behind and not an issue.
So yeah, I mean,
which is fun.
If I was going to say there's anything that I don't like about it is honestly just for people being up and out. I mean, it really fits about 6 people comfortably.
Right, because you have the cabin in the front.
Right. So so you can't really go out on the front of it, and there's a cabin underneath. So it could, if people want to stay down underneath. Right. But if you want to sit up and actually be out and
hang out,
it's really kind of 6 is really kind of the max.
But
which
that's
is
not bad.
No, it's again, I love it, and I'll tell you,
for sure.
And I don't know if this was your experience, but I mean, in 2020 when the world was basically shut down,
I didn't have it then.
Oh, so you didn't have it. Oh, it was. I mean, it was the savior. I mean, there was, you couldn't go out and do anything. And so you had your weekends and you were just going stir crazy where you were either, you either were staying home or working from home and you just couldn't go out and do anything. You could still go out on a boat. And so we were doing that every weekend. And it was just the only way of actually being able to reset. And we were very fortunate to have it then. So we, we put a lot of time on it that summer.
Good for you. That's a good time to do it too.
Yeah.
That's good. No, I bought mine. Maybe it was, I don't know, like a year after. I think like when it was starting to calm down. My dad had a big surgery. Wow, you see? Now I'm getting on like real deep again. He had a quadruple bypass. Yeah, and it scared the shit out of me a bit. And I was like, when I was young, like in the summers I'd be at his place and he had the boat on the river. I'm like, I don't want to say, what if we'd had a boat? And so and it was old and whatever, but it worked so
with
good.
with your kids, the age they are, it's perfect time that they can teach them how to do some of those things because
to just have a fun time.
Yeah. I mean, I still don't know as much as I should about the boat. Quite frankly,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, it's a learn as you go.
It's hard navigating it in and out of so that's not my forte.
Yeah. And the slip. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had to get better. We went out we took it to Havasu.
Oh, okay.
This is the second time I think we brought it to Havasu. Like the first year I had it, oh my, I almost sank the boat. Holy smokes. So God grief. We didn't get a slip. I should have. Or no, no, the first year we did not get a slip. And I was backing it up off the trailer and Vanessa was in the truck. And I had a checklist and I missed one thing. And I get off the boat and I was like, in my head, I was like going through everything. Dude, I missed the drain plug.
Mm.
And she started pulling forward. I'm like, you need to back up, back up, back up. Or no, she was on the boat. And that's right. And she like floors it and then like pulls off. And I was like, she's like, what's going on? I'm like, the drain plug. And the guy next to me was like this retired Air Force guy. And he's like, I did the same thing, except I was in the middle of the lake. I was like, oh, see, I'm not alone on that.
So we had one when we were out, and I don't know who it was, but someone so a lot of times, especially out of Bartlett, we'll kind of drive it away from the marina and just find kind of a quiet spot and
hang out. Yeah.
And just drift.
Yep.
And at one point somebody must have just, we must have been getting a little too close to, and so I moved it. And for some reason, it wasn't turning on. The motor wasn't going.
Oh,
no
sure.
one could figure out what was going on. So we were getting super freaked out. So we had to couples had to jump out and make sure it didn't get banked up on the rocks or anything. And there was a little pontoon boat saw that we were in some trouble and towed us back to the marina. Fortunately, we weren't too far, but it was a pontoon boat, so it took
a bit, a
little bit.
Sure.
And so I get out of the boat and I go into the marina and go and talk to someone. It's like, hey, I'm like, is there anyone that maybe can come out and look at this? I mean, it was working fine all day. Can you come take a look and see? And he looks at me and he's like, did you check the kill switch? And I was like, the what? And he goes, and he comes out and no joke, there's just this little, and I'd never really noticed it before, but just this little switch, like right where the accelerator paddle thing is. And
I don't have some, I don't.
Yeah. So, and it's, and it's in a place where you can kind of brush it with your leg almost. It's just kind of where it's positioned. And it basically, like if you're in a big load of trouble, whatever, you just flip that off and it kind of shuts off the entire boat. And hadn't even flipped all the way off. It just kind of toggled to the middle. And so he just came out and just flipped that, and it started right up. And just looked at us like we were just so dumb. And then that same pontoon boat saw us zipping around again. They're like, "We just towed you in, like,
idiot."
Hey, thanks. Within 5 minutes.
That's awesome. Wow, that's pretty good. That's a good boating experience.
It was right, buddy. But. And it's happened now a couple times since then. And we always say, did anyone check the kill switch?
Right.
And, yep.
Every time. Yeah. That's pretty good.
But I just remember that sigh of I didn't even know what it was. I hadn't even heard the term before.
Yeah.
He just goes, but fortunately he was right. I'd much rather have that, a little embarrassing situation than a bigger issue.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I think we got some time. All right. So you used to go to the Waste Management Open a lot, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like almost every year.
Yeah. I did not go this past year, but.
And you usually had decent seats or?
So it evolved. I mean, the first couple years that, went and it was just just got your general admission tickets and you'd walk around. And,
right.
This is before it got so big.
Hold on, wait. I have some young listeners. This is the Golf Open in Scottsdale. Okay.
Which is known as the biggest party in golf. It is really evolved over the years, but no, I was fortunate enough in the industry that my mom worked at, or one of her clients or whatever. They were a big sponsor, so she would get at some point start to get more like elevated level tickets because there's lots of different ways that you can do it. I mean, now it's even it's grown so much.
What is it? Hole 16. That's like
that is
enshrined,
and which is it only happened in the last few years that it's been completely surrounded. But so then it was, then there was like a greenskeeper's tent or whatever where you could get some food and it was
that's nice.
And it was just a few things. It was like maybe for free, free beer or like a couple beers, a couple varieties, right? And then there was a year where there was like a suite on 18.
Oh, that's nice.
And then it was a whole. That was a whole different deal.
Yeah, that's a good spot to finish.
They had like someone like carving prime rib and type of thing, and I was like,
"This is ridiculous.
This is different."
Nice."
And they had an actual like bar in there with any kind of drink that you want. I was like, "Well, this is nice."
Yeah. That is a
And
nice
then
experience for
going
sure.
in and experiencing 16, which again, not quite the carving station,
Right,
but they
sure.
still have lots of very nice kind of elevated food and drinks. But the actual golf that
Yeah.
I would say hopefully at least half the people are watching.
Yeah. You gotta hope.
There's at
Yeah.
least half that probably don't. Um, but it's just so exciting. It's a super short par three, and
Yeah.
actually, well, our friend Tim,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and I,
Shout out Tim. What's up, buddy?
we um we actually went and played that course. We've done it twice now,
Yeah.
right before the Open. So it's a
Really?
difficult
Just to
course
kind of see what it is they're
regardless.
playing on.
But right, so
Oh,
that but
cool.
they end
Good
up
idea.
throwing everything out and
Yeah.
making it more difficult for these professionals. So you appreciate it so much more because I'm not.
Sure.
I love to golf, but I'm not very good.
Yeah.
Um,
Same here.
but yeah, but watching and seeing, I mean, how these guys are able to hit it out of the rough. I mean, you go like,
It's crazy.
because you go, I mean, they grow it up. Something
Yeah.
it took me 5 tries to get it out. I
Right.
mean, one of these times, but
Yep.
no, it was great because again, that hole 16 is, I mean, that can just be, even if you're not a very good golfer, it's a short little
Yeah.
par three. And if you kind of hit it just
Hit it.
right,
You feel
I was
better about
fortunate
yourself.
this last time was, I mean, it was super fun. I mean, we'd been out there obviously, all day, and
Yeah.
I was not having a
It
super
was a rough
great
day. Yeah.
golfing, but I went up to 16 and I hit it within about 8 feet of
No kidding.
and I mean, there was no, and I just sat there and then look around and we do it because it's again,
Yeah.
not just the conditions, but they have the whole stadium and everything.
Yeah.
So I look around, I'm like, man, if this was full of people,
They would have been lit.
I would have had a huge applause right
Absolutely.
now. It was super neat. Yeah, but
That's phenomenal.
yeah, but it's been known because there've been several hole-in-ones there over
Yeah.
the years. Tiger Woods, I think, hit a hole-in-one. I think it was 97.
Yeah. Did he
so,
ever come
yeah,
back after?
I think he did, but I think there was a time he's not in a long time because I
Yeah.
think someone threw an orange at him
Yeah,
once,
something, yeah.
and he just
He
decided that
just,
wasn't
I don't want to
his.
go to the party.
Yeah, it
one.
wasn't his thing. I mean, it's
Yeah.
funny because some of the guys really, I mean, they embrace it because golf is a very,
It's a mellow sport.
polite
Yeah.
clap and
Mhm.
but they're still professional
Yeah.
athletes, right? And so a lot of them like it because it's just like other sports for one
Yeah.
tournament a year where they get I mean, some guys eat it up and they bring stuff to throw out to the crowd.
Is that right?
On 16, so yeah, there's a guy and actually lives here. He's a local guy, Joel Damon.
Yeah.
And we saw him, and so he throws hats out to the crowds.
Good for him.
And yeah, so he really, and a lot
That's
of
cool.
guys do that and stuff like that. But yeah,
So, okay, so have you met any? Like, have you met any of the golfers or whatever that come through?
so not too many. However, actually, my stepfather-in-law. I don't even think you know this, Chet. My stepfather. So Trisha's mom's husband.
Yeah.
Used to play in the PGA Tour.
Really?
Yeah, so he actually was a 2-time PGA Tour winner. So
That
yeah,
is awesome.
Yeah, so I have to get better at golf. That's really kind of what it comes down to.
I would agree with that for
But
sure.
I mean, he and I can sit there and talk golf for hours.
I'm sure,
I mean,
yeah.
he's lived on. I mean, I think unfortunately, he got out before the money. I mean, the money is huge now.
Yeah.
I mean, he played on tour for many years, and it was
Really?
great. But yeah, I mean, I could try and do the
All right,
math.
I'm going to
for
go
him.
through you to try to have him on because he'd be fun to talk to.
Oh
I
yeah,
bet.
but no, I bet he would. And yeah, he's a super nice, interesting guy, and yeah, just knows so much
Is that right?
about golf. And
That's cool.
yeah, so after he,
I mean, it makes sense.
after
Yeah.
when he went and played on so he did the PGA Tour and played on the Champions Tour for several
Wow.
years.
So
and then
he was good.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
he's-
obviously to win.
Yeah,
but-
well, yeah, and honestly, I've played with him a couple times. I mean, it is
Yeah,
just
yeah.
it's
Is he
and-
still scratch?
Oh, so just at our little muni course that I like to play at, just because it's it's inexpensive, but it's fun.
Yeah.
We actually got him to go and play that and with us, which is not his normal
Sure.
course.
Yeah, I would
should I
assume.
say?
Yeah.
And given I don't want to guess his age exactly.
Sure,
but I
yeah,
would
yeah,
say
but-
mid to late 60s would be
Okay.
nice. So, yeah, and so he just went out and I mean, we had no warm up or anything like that, and still shot 3 under. I think,
Oh my
4
gosh,
under
good
at
for
this
him.
little
Good for
kind
him.
of short little course, and
That's pretty awesome.
yeah, and so they're like struggling to get. I mean, I'm 20 over, whatever. I
Right?
have.
Yeah. You stop counting.
Yeah.
See, I don't keep score a lot anymore. Because when I do, like, I'll keep score for that hole. But when I keep a full like record of it, I get in my head. Like I'll start doing good or whatever, and then I just implode or explode. I'm
Well,
not
that's,
sure,
I
but
mean, it's one
it's
of the biggest parts of it. It's what's, to me, fun about golf is,
yeah,
there's such a mental component, and it's just, I mean, you can't blame anyone else but yourself, because just you and the
yeah,
ball club and
yeah,
and so you're doing it. And um I'm fortunate that I would say I don't let it get too much in my head. But if I have a
right.
bad hole or something, I mean, I just kind of, or do a bad shot, I mean, I
Mhm.
just kind of just have to laugh, because
Yeah,
a day out on the golf course is pretty much better than a day,
any day at work. Yeah, yeah. And
so
I'm
I'm
not
just
getting paid
enjoying.
for it, so
Yeah.
it's not my normal job.
Yeah,
That's
well,
good.
right. No, and that's a different thing. So yeah, you should talk to Ronnie and find out, because it's one of those things. I mean, we talk about it, we get in our heads, but it's like,
Yeah,
wow, I'm like, well, if you're playing on tour, like, well, if I,
through the pressure.
if I miss this putt, I'm gonna say, I always ask him, like, did you ever think about that, like in the
Yeah,
moment, like, even if you're not necessarily gonna win the
right,
tournament, but like if I miss this putt, that's the difference. That's like a
right. Yeah,
$20,000 miss,
sure.
right? Like,
Good grief.
do you ever think about that? I mean, now these guys, I mean, that can be a $200,000
Right.
miss, or I
Yeah,
mean, for those guys that are, n- top of the leaderboard
man.
on Sundays, and
And the amount of practice that they put in.
oh, it's unbelievable.
Oh my
It's
god,
unbelievable.
that is wild. That's pretty good. All right. Have you been following? Speaking of sports, have you been following the Olympics at all?
Some, not as much as probably I would like to, but
I have no idea why. I've always followed the Olympics. I don't really have any special reason. I get
well,
entertained
you're
usually.
proud of your country.
I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, I am, but no, I just, I don't know. They always just crack me up. Like the story, especially the stories. And this year, okay, I don't want to follow up with that. Hold on. I have other things I want to follow before I go on to that one. That's just not right. I assume you saw Lindsey Vaughn, right?
So I did, and yeah, that was pretty early on in the Olympics, and that was heartbreaking
It
for her,
was.
because I mean,
What is she? She was 40, your age, I think,
yeah, I think she's
41.
41.
Yeah.
Yeah, which doing athletic things that I've never been able to do,
Yeah.
obviously. So, and I saw, yeah, just a couple weeks before, I can't remember if was it her Achilles or
Her
ACL, where,
ACL. Yeah. She messed up her ACL.
and still,
And I was
to
like, and
compete,
she's
which
going to,
is
yeah.
amazing. I mean, any of these other,
Because I messed up my ACL. And I don't know how she did. I assume a skiing accident. She's a skier. So
Mhm.
that would be my assumption.
yeah, it was at a practice or,
Yeah. I was giving my kids a bath and I fell. So there's a little
well,
difference there. But,
and yeah, so in your athleticism compared to hers, that
absolutely.
probably makes a little bit of
A
sense.
smidge of a difference. Yeah. Right. Slight difference there. But there's no way I could have skied.
I,
I don't know what they do, like,
no, and I'm
but
sure, yeah, I don't know if it's a cortisone shot, or you
sure,
pop a
yeah,
couple Tylenol,
yeah,
but no, and that's just pure professionalism and
yeah, for
determination.
sure.
And like, look, the
It's gonna
Olympics are so
hurt.
different, because it's not like, I mean, if you're in the NBA, and this has happened a lot in these sports, or the NFL, it's like, well, okay, you got next season, or you've got
Yeah,
later in the season,
I agree.
whatever, or you can sit
Yep,
out a few games or something like. But if it's the Olympics, no, it's every 4 years.
yeah,
And
exactly.
this was, at 41, I'm
Mhm.
guessing this was her last
I would
Olympics. So this
assume.
is
I would
her
assume.
last shot.
Yeah,
She's like, well, look, and you spend, I mean, so much time preparing. I mean, yeah,
yeah,
like I'm still going to go out there and give it a go,
yeah.
because
And smacks into the gate or with her hand
yeah,
is
and
wiped
it
her out.
wasn't even like that was her first. I mean, she'd already done a couple of
Yeah,
runs. That
mhm.
was in the finals. So I
And
mean,
she
even the
looked
fact
good
that
up until that point.
right, which is even more amazing, right? That used to, I mean,
It's crazy. All right, not and see now I'm gonna go to it. So you said you had not heard about the the I don't know if you call it a scandal, but the Olympic scandal or whatever, where they were testing the guys for the downhill long ski jump, I think it's
mhm.
called. So there's a lot of news stories about this. And I'm just gonna highlight it. I'm not gonna pull it up again. But essentially, they were injecting their junk. The guys were injecting their junk with hyaluronic. I'm hoping I'm saying that right.
I
This is going up memory. acid, hyaluronic acid. And to make it bigger before they would get the suit fittings, because they get 3D printed for these suits. And so it would inflate their member
Okay. Was
and
this just
then
all out of vanity, or was this supposed to help them athletically?
help them. Because then as it would deflate, if you will, it would act as a
Oh, give
sail. Their suit would act like a sail
interesting.
and give them
Yeah,
extra.
I didn't hear anything about that. I'm gonna have to go
And
and research
I
that
was
'cause
like,
I'm
"There's no
very
way this is true." And I like several stories, and I was like, "That is crazy." Like, how do you as a athlete, you hear this brought to you, and you're like, "Hey, here's my idea." You're like, "Shift shape. I'm going to do it. Let's do that."
Again, don't agree with it,
I
by
agree. Right.
any stretch of the imagination, because that have everyone, compete honestly on the same
All
playing field.
right.
But
You don't need to inflate
if you get
yourself.
some, I mean, you understand some of those
To
people that
each
just
their own, I
have
guess.
a desire to win
I want
so
that medal that
badly.
bad.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know about that.
I think I draw the line well before I inject my body, probably with anything.
I would
Certainly.
agree. I would agree with that. Okay. Did you see the US? I think it was the USA bobsled team. I think it was the guys where 3 of them fell out.
I did see that.
Oh
Which
my
is
gosh.
heartbreaking. And
It
they're
was
sliding down and their hands on their head, and they realize,
that's terrible.
that
I
hurts.
felt so bad for them. Like, and the guy, like, I don't think he knew that they all fell out
Yeah, I don't know.
because he wasn't breaking at the end. Like, if you watch the end of the video, like, he wasn't breaking at the end. And so he
I
had to,
mean, you
like,
got it.
go back.
You would think that he would know, because it's got to like weigh or steer different,
I
I
would
would
think,
think,
yeah,
but
that's
I don't
wild.
know. Now, I have been watching the USA curling team though. That's kind of been that's about the one thing that's been on
Yeah.
after my son goes
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
bed,
Sure.
and whatever. I've been able to watch some of that, which is I mean, I find it fascinating. And I always find it fascinating, but it's only every 4 years,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like
That's true. Yeah.
you know, um,
So the
and it
USA
was
curling.
let's see, it must have been probably 8 years ago, because it wasn't after the last Winter Olympics.
Okay.
So 8 or maybe even 12. I don't know, but it was right after one of the Winter Olympics.
Right.
I saw curling, and there was a curling club in Scottsdale.
No, there's not.
And
Tell me you joined it. Tell me you
so
joined
we
it.
didn't join, but we went out and try, because that's one of those sports you're like, like I could do that.
I can do
And
that.
let me go ahead and tell you, like, no, you can't.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
no,
Yeah.
like, no,
No.
you can't.
No, probably not.
And again, you can't, but it'd be like bowling. We can all go bowling, but we're not
Bowlers, like
we're
professional
not
bowlers.
hitting,
Yeah.
287
Right.
regularly, right? But yeah, and it is incredibly harder than it looks.
Yeah.
I mean, even just getting even just the slide to do the throw. I mean, forget how they're able to use the brooms to actually make things
Guide it and
curl.
move it. Yeah.
Like, even just trying to kind of get that stone to
Yeah,
go where
for
it
sure.
needs to go. So watching that, and
That's wild.
the strategy behind it. The strategy is what's really intriguing me. And so, it's almost like a chess game every
Yeah.
time, because they're throwing out little
They have
blockers
all their-
before they
yeah.
even try to and trying to figure out the geometry of how this is going to hit here. And I mean, it's
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of
fascinated. Yeah.
mental. What do you call it? Mental.
We'll call it mental fortitude.
There you go.
Yeah.
That goes into that. I don't know. I think I would see, kind of like you. I think I would do all right at it. I don't think I'd be great at all.
It's
Ever.
and
Like ever. It's like cornhole for me. I can do very well at cornhole. I don't know, once a month. And I can be in a tournament and I can do pretty well. Like, I can carry the lower half of my team. The higher half, like, great. And I can carry the lower. But when I keep competing, I'm like, no, I'm done. I don't know why.
Well, and goes back to just what we're talking about with just athletes in general. The amount of practice, that's what separates,
Yeah.
or at least one of the major things that separates, professional athletes and us, is
Yeah.
that they go in and they put in the time and they put in the practice.
Yeah.
And, I mean, and even, you're talking about your top level, you're talking about a scratch golfer, but even a scratch golfer couldn't play on the PGA Tour,
Yeah, that's true.
like, I mean, even,
Yeah.
and it's just,
Right.
and because they're good, but they're still not
They're
even.
still not
And
that good.
those guys, when you're watching and they play their round and sit there and play better than any of us will ever play in our entire lives. They're like, you know what? After they've played their round, they're gonna go in and I've got to work on this for tomorrow
Right.
here,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they'll go
And keep
to the
going. Yeah.
range and try to work on something. And it's like
Yeah.
after especially for how much they the practice and get ready and their whole routine before going and playing. I'm like, yeah, I'm tired after
Yeah. No
18.
kidding. Yeah.
I'm not going back
Right.
out there
Not,
to
yeah. Heck no.
when you're off to. I mean, the range certainly isn't as fun as actually playing, but
Yeah.
you gotta
No.
and
But you have to put in the time.
Yeah.
If you want to do it. Yeah. I agree. All right. Let's see here. Okay. Have you seen the animals on Olympics this year? The dog going down the ski hill?
So yeah, well,
That was pretty phenomenal.
yeah. So yeah, chasing after the two
Yeah.
skiers. So somebody tried to tell me it was a wolf.
It was not a
It
wolf.
looked like a husky.
It
to
was
me.
like
and
a
I'm like,
yeah.
they would have been skating a
Yeah.
lot faster.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, it was
It
not.
was somebody tried to tell me, but I did see that, which was super.
The squirrel. I saw the squirrel.
I did not see the squirrel.
There was a snowboarder going down the hill, and a squirrel ran out and stopped, and the snowboarder literally
Just barely missed it.
barely.
Oh,
I was like, oh, that could have been bloody. Could have been bloody.
ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the Olympics. Let me see if there's anything else on the Olympics. Oh, there's been some half pipe accidents. I thought those were interesting. Yeah.
I mean, again, it just shows. I mean, these are the best in the world,
Yeah.
right? And it just shows how hard it is. Some of the things
It
that
is.
they're doing, and obviously they're pushing themselves a
Yeah.
little bit. But for the ones that don't crash or accomplish some of those,
Yeah.
those jumps or those tricks or those, like it's incredibly difficult.
It's so hard. Kenzie and I went up to Snowball yesterday. Some people, she's been on here the most out of anybody besides me. And she did really, really well. Like for barely ever being able to go snowboarding. Like she's learning her turns, like, to be able to carve and everything.
Sure.
And she was doing really well. And then the altitude got to her and everything, and she's like, I'm tired. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, you want to take off? She's like, no, why don't you go up to the top? So I did. I went up. And I was using snow blades. I don't know if you know what snow blades are.
I don't.
So they're mini skis about that big.
Okay.
Like I don't need ski poles or anything, and I can just kind of like push myself like almost, big, like small skis, like rollerblades or whatever, and you kind of do it that way. And I went all the way up, and it was nerve-wracking because it's been a while since I've been up on the snowblades. The last time I went up, I was on the snowboard. And you cannot go fast on these things because they're so short. So you go fast and they start shaking. But the snow was like, it was beautiful because it had snowed a lot the last couple of days. So it was like nice, good powder and like soft and everything. So I knew if I fell, like I'd be all right. And the first time down, it was rough. Not gonna lie, it was rough. I was like, oh, there we go. I had to get my, my bearings, and I went down a second time, and I just like cruised down. I was like, oh, there it is.
Oh,
and you just found it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like Snowball. I like being able to drive up like 2 hours and.
Yeah, and I haven't been much of a snow skier or snowboarder.
Even living that close?
Yeah, it's just, I mean, look, it's one of the reasons why I live in Arizona.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
I like sunshine.
You're
I
the
like
sunshine.
weather, and yeah, I mean, and I know people love it, and it's not something that my family really did
Yeah.
growing up, and so I didn't learn it then. People said like, oh, you have to go out, and I'm like I'm in my 40s. You know what? I'm not learning how to ski or snowboard in my 40s. That's probably gone past. I'll wait. I'll watch you guys do it, or I'll wait with a cocktail. Cheery on.
All right. These are all going to be random subjects that I have. Yeah, we got a few minutes, or we got some time. All right. You're a pets kind of a guy, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Love animals.
Do you still have cats? You had cats.
We do not anymore, unfortunately. So when my now wife and I got together, I had 2 cats. She had 2 dogs and a cat. But
the cats
those were well, and those were animals that we all got when
you were younger.
Right?
Yeah,
so
they were all end of their life stages. Yeah.
So unfortunately, now 8 years later, none of those pets are still with us.
Sure.
But we do have now 2 dogs now that are in, I think, 3 and 4.
Do you know what
two.
kind of dogs you have?
Yeah, so I have a Morkie, a
Oh, you do know.
Maltese
Okay.
Yorkie,
Okay.
and then a Yorkie Poodle mix.
Okay.
So two small ones
Two
that
small ones.
take
Yeah.
up much more space on the bed than they should.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I don't know what kind of dogs I have. They're just, they're dogs. I have my annoying one, but anyways. So cats. I still have 2 cats. And like you were coming over and I made sure the litter box was clean. And my old guy, that little bastard, he's like, "Oh, look at that. Let me go smell up the house real quick." I was like, "What is wrong with you? Why do they do that? They're such little jerks sometimes." But
Well,
like,
I mean,
come
I
on.
don't know. If you think about it this way, I mean, do you want to go on a used toilet or do you want to
That's
go on a
true. I'd
clean
rather go on a
toilet?
nice
Like,
clean one.
right.
Yeah, that's fair.
I
That's
mean,
a fair point.
yeah, probably gonna say like, oh, it's all nice
Mm,
and ready for me.
nice and
Like
ready.
you got to think about it
Huh.
through the animal's perspective because I,
Yeah, that's a good perspective.
yeah,
I like that. Huh. All right. That's fair. Yeah, because they do that pretty frequently after you clean
I,
it. And you're like,
yeah,
really? Right now is the best time for you. You couldn't have done it 5 minutes ago. All right. Huh.
nope, now's the time.
That makes a lot of sense. I really do think animals communicate with you if you actually like watch them and listen to them in different ways.
Oh, absolutely.
It's
And
it's pretty interesting.
they're no, they're so much more intuitive, I think, than we even give them credit for. Like
Yeah,
they
I
know,
would agree.
they can sense your mood, they can sense so many different things. They'll go to
Did you ever
comfort
hear?
you and
You ever hear that cat that it lived in a nursing home? I'm probably butchering the story, but it lived in a nursing home, and it used to. They called it. I don't know if they called it the death cat or something like that, but
these
it would go up to the patients that were essentially like
near their end.
near their like a couple hours, few hours, or whatever, and it would go up and it would lay by their side.
Mm.
Yeah, it was
I did
pretty
not hear
wild.
about that. But what's I mean,
Like
I
intuitive.
don't yeah, but I don't think it's uncommon to have pets like that. So when my
Yeah.
grandmother was in a nursing home, they had a
Did they really?
yeah, they just had a I don't know if it's I call it a house cat or what, but
Yeah.
would just roam around and even knew, I mean, it was a 2-level thing and even knew how to get onto the elevator and go down. I mean, like it was,
That
I
is
mean, yeah, just
excellent.
yeah,
Oh, that's phenomenal. That's very cool.
yeah.
That's neat.
So
That's really
and
neat.
no, and a lot of, a lot of older people because they probably even haven't had
Right.
pets in a long
In a
time
long
too. I
time,
mean, you
sure.
get to kind of a point and
Yeah,
you're like, okay, I'm like, well, like does it make sense for me to get
sure.
another animal? And my in peak physical condition, am I going
Right.
to go and
Can I really take
yeah,
care of this?
well, yeah, am
Yeah.
I going to go do daily walks
Yeah.
or am I going to be cleaning litter boxes for forever? But so
Yeah.
I guarantee a lot of these people had pets growing up and
Yeah.
at least get
That's
to
good.
yeah.
Hmm. That's very yeah, I like that take. That's very cool. I appreciate that. All right. The Ring doorbell. Did you watch the big game this year? Did you watch the commercials? Super Bowl?
So we did, but it's very different these days.
It
Watching
is very different these days.
so
I
well,
fully agree.
just because that hits right in bedtime. So
Yeah.
I watched as much as I could. So I watched the game, but
Oh, I wonder if I can
I
pull
don't
it
know
up.
that
Hold
I
on.
was on for all of the different
Okay.
commercials,
Okay. I'm gonna
but
try.
I did see several of them.
So, and I like, you know what? Ring doorbell, and say what you will about them. It's they played an ad
Okay.
during the game, right? And it was, in my eyes, it was creepy, and they got a lot of crap for it. And I think like if you like you know what you're getting into if you have a Ring doorbell or any of them. Let's not just Ring or whatever, but if you have any of them, you have to realize, hey, a lot of your privacy is going away. Like it's probably going to constantly be recording because every time I walk out,
Yeah. Oh,
like Vanessa
absolutely.
can text me like, "Hey, what you doing?" I'm like, "Hey, so I can't bring in anything through the front door if it's a surprise for you
Oh, and
anymore."
so right. No, because we have, I mean, we have a Ring doorbell, but we also have a couple other Ring cameras like around our house, and it acts as a, as a monitor. But you're right. If you're trying to sneak in presents or anything, because we've got one in our, in our garage, so we know if someone's
That's
going in and out of the garage, and by obviously our front door, so there isn't an easy place to take
to
anything
take
in.
it right, yeah, for sure. Okay, let me. Da-da-da. Come on now. Oh, I see what it's doing. Sorry, I am my own producer after all. Wrong one. That one. Go back down. Okay. So I'm going to share, and that way you can see this wonderful, semi-creepy commercial.
I see. I would have watched it. You should have given me homework before. I would have prepared. I would have prepared better.
Every year, 10 million go missing. And the way we look for them
So it's like a dog.
changed in years.
Missing dogs. Sorry.
Until now. One post of a dog's photo in the Ring app starts outdoor cameras looking for a match. Search Party from Ring uses AI to help families find lost dogs. Since launch, more than a dog a day has been reunited with
More than a dog a day. One dog. More than one dog a day.
Available to everyone for free
I like that.
right now. Join the neighborhood at ring.com.
So, and I have seen a lot on the Ring app, people saying, they'll connect with people like in their, in their nearby neighborhoods and whatnot, saying, hey, we found a pet or whatnot.
Yeah.
I've not known that, as you've suggested, going through.
We can always watch you. We got it. Don't worry. We'll find your dog for you. You're more than one dog a day.
Well, no, I mean, there's our neighbor down the street.
Yeah.
Their dog gets out
pretty frequently.
Fairly regularly. But and it's happened more times than I can count, probably.
Sure, yeah.
Where it never really goes, too far. So a nice little cul-de-sac. She's the end of the cul-de-sac, so it doesn't go out to like where kind of really the traffic is. And my house is about maybe as far down as it goes. But I'll see that on my Ring, and I'll just text. I'm like,
hey, buddy.
Hey, just letting you know, dog got out again.
Yeah.
So
yeah. It's like AI. If you use it as a tool, and you have to accept it or whatever.
Right. And thing is, quite frankly, it makes me wonder if we've all just accepted in the terms of you read all the user agreements and everything. Maybe we said, if there's an issue or whatever, we reserve the right to use these cameras to do whatever. And it's, honestly, the same thing, more concerning than even the Ring and whatnot, and the different like Alexa devices. Those things are
totally
always
listening, like,
or even our cell phones too,
right?
But
doing dishes, and I say something up to one of my kids, and they're like, "I'm sorry, I didn't catch that." And I'm like, "I wasn't talking to you."
Right?
Like, don't be creepy, dude.
We watched a movie a couple years ago, and I don't even remember the whole movie, but I do remember that really the premise of it is that they had this girl's job was there were like keywords or something where she was going and listening to recordings from Alexa devices and seeing if crimes were being committed.
Oh, sure. Mm-hmm.
And so she was just going through listening like, nope, this is a normal conversation. Nope, this sounds like, and I think she ended up catching it what sounded like a murder or something on there. And so that was the big investigation. But
it's so creepy.
But right. It's like, so that means that, and we don't know what necessarily what those keywords are.
Yeah.
And so that means, are people listening to our conversations? You have someone sitting in a call center at their house going through things that we've said and trying to check.
Well, I don't know if it's people anymore. It's they.
Well, right.
They have
but but even AI probably then it still has to get to, I think, a human to do a different
to do the different analysis. Sure.
But,
I would. Yeah, I don't know that I want to do that job, but
streamlines the process. Well, no,
something's coming in, an Amber Alert.
Uh-oh.
There's a child abduction. All right. Well, we'll get back to that.
Hopefully it's not any of ours.
No, it's not. Anyways. So I
don't know if I'm prepared. I don't know what's coming up.
No. All right. Sorry. All right. This is going to segue very weird. And I normally don't go political. Okay. But did you see what Donald Trump posted the other day about instructing I think it was the Department of Defense and whatever other departments to review and release something like this, files on alien, extraterrestrial,
I heard a little
UAP, which is unidentified aerial phenomenon, and UFOs, unidentified flying objects. I don't know what your thoughts are, and if you want to discuss it or not, but I think it's very interesting. Like you were talking about the Alexas being scary and everything like that, and to me, it's like they're just slow playing it. They're just slow playing AI into our lives. We're like, oh yeah, look how convenient it is. Look at, it's more and more convenient. And I'm wondering if that's exactly what they're doing with extraterrestrial, because they're like, hey, we have the congressional hearing on this over here, and we have this. And now they're like, hey, you know what we'll do? We'll just go ahead and unlock all the files here and
And it's
let you
never
guys.
really all the files,
No,
right?
no, no.
It could be giving we all want to know. We all know
We
there's
do. Hmm.
stuff that
You can't
they,
explain.
right.
Yep.
And we know there's things but what I've always found fascinating about it is there's always been secrecy, and there's been,
Sure.
a certain group of people,
Yep.
whatever their
Under the
titles are,
Denver airport.
that know this information.
Yeah.
I'm just always floored that there aren't more leaks
The leaks, yeah.
about it. So it's like someone who, like, they spent 40 years or whatever working this thing, and then they get out and, hey, I need to get this off my chest before and maybe they do, and they're just like,
Immediately
snipped
shut
out.
down.
Yeah, so quick. But I'm just surprised it hasn't made its way out more often.
Mhm.
Because again, it's not like it's only 5 people.
No.
I mean, there's got to be in these things that know this stuff. There's got to be hundreds, if not thousands. And so
Oh, you lived here during that time.
During which time?
The lights over Phoenix.
Yeah. No,
Did you see it?
I did not, but
Okay.
obviously everyone was posting pictures,
like all
and so,
over. Yeah.
and a lot of that stuff. I mean, I don't know. I don't know that it's necessarily, that's probably in my estimation, probably some type of government training, like we were trying out a new,
like 10 years in advance stuff, right, that we see.
Exactly.
Yeah. I got you. Sure.
Yeah. Or honestly, never know about, because I guarantee they've got,
right. Yeah.
We'll never find it.
Yeah.
Because it's really funny. Like I do remember seeing a map that showed where, I don't know if you want to call them the verified or the reported, the reported, UFO alien sightings over the entire world. And they were really concentrated in a couple different countries.
Yeah.
And so overwhelmingly, the United States is like, okay, well, if they're coming here, like, they're not just going to go, like, we are the best country in the world. I get that. But, like, they're not necessarily going to know that. Like, they're going to land or other things. No, I mean, honestly, I think it would be radio transmissions and stuff way before. That's what I'd be interested in some of that.
I always wondered about did you follow anything on the AI Atlas or the 3i Atlas or whatever it's called? I cannot remember now. I used to talk about it too. Anyways, it was like this, we'll call it an asteroid, like a comet or a comet. And it was coming close, and it was big. It was very big, coming close to the Earth, like basically as close as like Mars. And I always thought it was interesting because, like, my sister got me the calendar of all these wonderful things, and like that thing in front of you. I didn't know I was going to bring this up, so this is pretty funny. Crap, I lost it. There it is. Here, a global view of Venus, and it's pretty clear on that.
Yeah.
And if this is a real actual picture, like, which I assume they are, like, you
no,
can
I mean,
how the heck did they not get a better picture of that 3i Atlas? That's my question.
Well, so I mean, I don't know. Here's my guess, because a lot of those things, especially with how far out they're going, they're essentially programmed on their trip, because you have to do it years before. And I think I just saw.
Oh, is that? Oh, okay. Sure.
And so it's, so it's on. So yeah, to go up and, it's not like they just have I think it was cameras on standby to know exactly where that's going.
So from the satellites that are up there,
right? And or what, whatever. And because I just saw they got their first really detailed pictures of Pluto. I believe it was.
Yeah, I saw that.
And that, I mean, that vessel that was sent out there was sent like 20 years ago.
20 years ago,
yeah. It was.
So it's pre-programmed.
And it's got to be
on that. I didn't even think about that.
So yeah, I mean, it depends, because again, that wasn't taken. More than likely, I'm guessing that wasn't taken.
No.
From Earth.
No.
That was taken from
I would agree.
So.
Right, because you can't send the communication.
Again, so I mean, if you
That's a good thought.
to
I
have a satellite in that area that could
where it's flying
the right
by or whatever,
and maybe. But
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well,
I never thought about that.
And if you think too, I mean, that it's obviously one we heard about and something like, but I bet there have been some actual scary ones that we don't know
no,
that they
no
have
clue.
actively gone
Yeah.
and you know,
Yeah. All right, nothing to see here, folks.
right. I mean,
Nothing to see here. Yeah.
so they'll let you know of like the maybe scary ones, but
Yeah.
probably the actual
That's pretty
ones
good.
that it just makes me wonder how many times we've actually averted disaster levels.
Yeah, for sure. That's pretty
There's
good.
no reason to panic the public, right?
No, not yet. Let's wait on that. All right. Have you heard of hockey?
Have I heard of hockey?
No, like the Hockey Boy Aquarium. Oh my gosh.
No.
So apparently hockey, like, where the arena or the what do you call it, where they play the hockey? Like
Ice,
the
stadium,
field, sure,
yeah.
whatever. Apparently there's a lot of females that are calling it the hockey, which is the boy aquarium.
Hmm.
Makes a lot of sense. I was cracking up, like little fish in there. I was like, that is funny and mean and funny at the same time. I like it. Cracks me up.
Oh, no.
The boy aquarium. Yeah. I don't know why.
If it gets more females watching sports, I'm all for it.
Right? There you go. There you go. See? There's always a bright side. All right. I'll wait on that one because I actually need the video on that one. Okay. Let's finish up on sandwiches. What are your thoughts on sandwiches? Are you a sandwich guy?
I love sandwiches.
Okay. Where do you go for your sandwich? Like if you're going out?
So it could be a few different places. So I'm a big, like, hot sandwich person.
Hot sandwich.
So I
Oh,
love
okay.
hot
I like it.
sandwiches.
All right.
I don't know, because a cold sandwich to me feels like more of a snack. A hot sandwich
Oh.
feels more of a meal. And I don't
Little
know, it
meal
could just
there.
be my
Okay.
own little mental thing.
No, it makes sense. All right.
But so like the French dip at Houston's
Oh yeah.
could be hands down.
They
Be
do.
hands
Yeah,
down
that's true.
the
That's
best.
good. Yeah. They're good there.
There's
That is
a sandwich place near our office called Capriati's. I think there's a few of them around
Okay.
town. And they do a really great meatball sub.
Yeah.
So
All right.
it's pretty awesome. If I'm doing, my wife's gonna just laugh at me for saying this, but if I was gonna do a cold sandwich, I do really love porta subs.
Oh yeah.
Like it's not your fanciest sandwich, but if you're going to go and do, I
Yep.
mean, they at least they slice the meat and
Yeah,
cheese and everything
I
in
agree.
front of you. It's a
I like their what do you call it? Their black olives.
yeah, they've got, I don't know, it just, because I mean, it's better than a Subway, better than others. So if you're
I
going to do
agree.
kind of a fast sandwich,
Porta subs. I like that.
yeah, and honestly, I mean, especially for cold sandwiches, because I'm a big
Mhm.
mayo guy. I don't do mustard.
Okay.
So I judge a lot on the mayonnaise in the sandwich.
Really?
Like that can really make or break. I
Okay.
mean, just your flavor of mayonnaise as well as how much you put on. If you too light, too
Right,
much, it
yeah.
can really affect a whole
yeah.
sandwich.
Do you know what Duke's mayo is? Duke's mayonnaise?
Yes, I'm familiar.
Do you like Duke's mayo? Because all I've ever heard, like when I was young, they're like, "Oh, you have to try Duke's mayo, like whatever."
I don't know. See,
And I was like,
so
it
I
was
don't
fine.
know that I can recall having it and knowing that it was Duke's per se.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, you'd have your store mayonnaise,
Yeah,
or your
yeah.
Miracle Whips,
Right, yeah,
or
right,
whatever.
yeah.
and-
Hellman's and all that. Yeah.
but so I don't know, but there are places,
Right.
and I don't know again if they just get gourmet
Right.
mayonnaise or if they make their own. But then if they make their own, it's aioli, right? It's
Yeah,
not mayonnaise.
that's
So,
true. Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing, especially on cold sandwiches, and
That's pretty good.
you gotta think,
The mayo.
and then you
all right.
can't you can't leave out, again, if you're especially you go hot sandwich, you can't leave out a cheesesteak.
Cheesesteak.
I mean,
Do they still have that? What was that one in Scottsdale we used to go to?
so yeah, that is no longer there,
They're no longer there. That's too bad.
unfortunately.
I really like that place.
But I am fortunate that there's, just down the street from my house, there's a place called Four Fathers,
Okay.
and they have a very good
Yeah?
cheesesteak. I mean,
That's-
again, you're outside of Philadelphia. That's a whole different
Right.
ballgame.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna
Yeah.
you can get your meat and cheese whiz
Four Fathers. All right.
fix.
I like the name.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
no, and their fries are good too. So
Yeah.
it's you can get a whole nice little meal. So
Yeah. You know what I was going to tell you? I was thinking about this earlier. I was making breakfast for Vanessa
Well, hold
and the
on.
girls.
Before we jump
Oh,
there,
yeah, yeah.
though, because you've asked me,
Yeah,
what's your favorite
yeah.
sandwich? Because
Ooh,
I don't know that.
my favorite sandwich. That's a tough one. So when I go somewhere, like for a cold sandwich, Good Sense. I really like Good Sense. I don't know why.
Okay, haven't heard of that one. Is it only a
They're
one
no,
spot, multiple
they're
locations?
I would say they're probably a franchise.
Okay,
But they're not like as plethora as like Subway and whatever.
no, but I
But yeah, there's one up the way from us a little bit. A hot sandwich. Ooh, man, I could go for any type of hot sandwich. Man, Philly cheesesteak. Although they had a Corleone's trailer.
Corleone's another good one. There
Yeah,
just one
they were
there
good.
just isn't one that's close to me. So
Yeah, right.
but
Yeah,
they're
yeah, they were pretty
no,
good. Yeah, no, I think that the best hot one I like is like a good turkey bacon club. You know
okay,
what I mean?
yeah,
Little avocado after it's toasted and whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite one. I like that one.
Yeah, I mean, there's a handful of things you can put, like, kind of turkey, roast
Yeah,
beef, bacon.
yeah,
You do mayonnaise or ranch or
yeah.
whatever. I
The
mean, you're
turkey
not going to
bacon.
really go
Mm-hmm.
wrong. You put some type of cheese on there, you're
Yeah,
gonna be a good spot.
yeah. I like that. So yeah, so years ago, oh my God, we had gone out and we probably closed down the bars, I would assume. We ended up and I crashed on your couch, and the next morning you woke up and you were much more peppy than I was. And you're like, hey, you want some scrambled eggs? Yeah, all right, that sounds good. You made some of the fluffiest scrambled eggs I had ever had. I was like,
Oh, I don't even
well,
remember this,
yeah,
but
no.
no,
I just remember the scrambled like I was like, those are incredible.
I was a wonderful host
You
then.
really were. I really appreciated that. I don't know that I would have offered you scrambled eggs. Like, you want some toast? Yeah, scrambled eggs. I appreciated that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, you got anything? You good?
Yeah, I mean, we covered, I think, good chunk of the things
Yeah.
that we said we were gonna talk about.
All right. I appreciate you
Yes.
coming on, man.
Well, no,
This was
I
fun.
very much appreciate it. No, it was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing else was fun to catch up.
Yeah, for sure.
This is
For sure.
the longest we've sat down and chatted in
A
quite a
long
while.
time, yeah.
So it
Yeah.
was good.
All
It was
right.
good.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, thank you.